Hey y'all, it's your girl Joy back with another video, and in this video I will be talking about my experience working for In-N-Out Burger. We'll talk about the logistics of the job, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll figure out if In-N-Out is the perfect fit for you. So let's get into the video. So a little bit about me. I worked at Store 47 in Santa Fe Springs, California. I worked there for a year and 4 months. I worked there from April 2019 to July of 2020, and I left as a level 3 associate. I also worked part-time. So the first step to potentially getting hired at In-N-Out is to apply online, and you want to apply to as many In-N-Outs in your area as possible. Once you apply online, you actually need to physically go to those stores and ask a cashier and be like, hey, I applied online, I would like an interview with the manager, or you can even just say, can I speak to the manager, and just say I'm here for an interview, or I would like an interview. This is one thing that I didn't know that I had to do in order to get an interview. You're not going to get contacted if you just apply online. You actually have to ask for it yourself. So you want to be very diligent about that. If you know someone who is a current In-N-Out employee, ask them if you can use them as a reference on your online application. I did have a few friends that I knew that worked for the company, and I put one of their names down, and I think that's one of the reasons why I also was hired. So a tip I want to give you is that In-N-Out store managers will not always be there when you go. So you want to be very diligent about when you come to the store asking for an interview. Don't come during peak business hours because the store manager is likely to be very busy, and you don't want to have that impression of trying to get an interview and talk to them when they're rushing around getting stuff done. Peak business hours for In-N-Out are always lunchtime and dinner time. Weekends is also really busy, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all busy days. The weekdays like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those are not as busy. Usually they are busy during the lunch and dinner time. So for example, if you come when we first open, usually a manager is there and it's not really busy, so that's a perfect time to come in asking for an interview. Lunch rush usually starts coming around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 1 p.m. to about maybe like 5 or 6 is usually when you also have non-peak hours at In-N-Out. Once it starts hitting 7 o'clock all the way to maybe like 9, that's usually when the dinner rush is there, so you want to avoid that as well. All In-N-Out employees start off as a level 1 associate. So I believe they go all the way to level 7 and then you hit management, but don't quote me on that. Level 1 associates would oftentimes be what's called a host. In-N-Out, despite being a fast food joint, they like to treat it as if it's a regular restaurant. In-N-Out employees will go up to the guests, they will take their trays, their trash, throw it away from them. Sometimes you might get refills, but you're mainly cleaning all the tables, making sure everything's restocked and clean, and just giving the best customer service possible. So since the level 1 position is very limited on what you can do, in my experience, managers try to level you up to level 2 as soon as possible. That way you can be used more. And so a level 2 associate is basically a cashier, whether that's at the front counter or in the drive-thru. If you've ever been a cashier, it'll be very easy for you to transition to that level. It was for me. I was a cashier at Knott's Berry Farm, so I didn't have too much of a difficulty. There are a lot of things that you do have to multitask mentally while doing your job. Like you have to check the bathroom and the dining room, making sure it's clean every 15 minutes, and you have to do what's called a lot check. And so sometimes it gets kind of hard to help customers, do your actual primary job, and then like multitask mentally, but it's possible. If I can do it, you can probably do it. If you're worried about having to learn how to cook burgers, how to learn how to cook fries, how to learn how to be a cashier, you're not going to learn all of that once. It's a gradual process. Like I said, level 1, level 2, all the way to level 7 to management. So you don't worry about having to learn all of the stuff of how In-N-Out runs right away, because that's not going to happen. So when I started working at In-N-Out, the pay was $14.50 per hour, and this was considered competitive pay compared to other fast food joints. Now, this is obviously going to be higher now because of the minimum wage increase every year. And I believe you do get pay raises every time you level up. So I believe if you go from level 1 to level 2, 3, 4, 5, you get a pay raise. I'm not really sure how much it was. I never paid attention to that, to be honest. And one of the benefits of being an employee is that every time you work, you do get a free burger and fries. However, when you're off duty, you do not get any discounts on food and you do not get any free food. Another thing that's really cool about In-N-Out is that they occasionally throw like team bonding exercises. Like, I never went to these, but like my store, like some of the associates would go to these basketball tournaments or like other like sporting tournaments and stuff, competing with other In-N-Out stores. And the biggest one you probably know is the In-N-Out summer picnic, and it happens at the Santa Ana racetrack, I believe. And it's this really big, fun event, a lot of food, man, like it's easy to get fat there. It's really fun, and you get to invite like a friend or family to come with you, and it's free, and I have a vlog, I will link that down below. And so that's one of the cool things, perks of being an In-N-Out employee. You do get free things from time to time, like there's like this safety reward or stuff. If your store meets a certain criteria, you'll get like an option of things that you can get for free. I always choose the t-shirts. Listen up, people. So In-N-Out is very flexible with student schedule. So if you are a student, especially high school, I would definitely recommend going to In-N-Out as a first-time job. If you need a schedule off, like a day, In-N-Out is really good with honoring that. Every time I've requested a day off, I've always gotten it off. And I think I've requested like quite a few days off. So the catch is, despite how great of a company In-N-Out is, and despite how good a pay it is per hour, In-N-Out employees actually don't get a lot of hours. And let me explain. In-N-Out employs a lot of people, and because they employ a lot of people, it's really hard to give everyone a bunch of hours. And the way In-N-Out works too is different. So at my store, you only could work a 6-hour shift, and I think this was different for management, but for someone like me who was a level 3 associate, my maximum was 6-hour shifts. But that doesn't mean I was guaranteed the whole 6-hour shift. There was many times that they sent me home after 3 hours. And the reason why they do that is if there's no job for you, if they have too many people there, if there's not enough customers, and if they really don't need you, they will send you home. They won't keep you around. And so there was many times where I didn't even have a 6-hour shift. I would work 3 hours, and that might be like one of 3 or 2 shifts that I have that week. And when you think about that, like if I have 3 shifts a week and they're all 3 hours, then like that's what, 9 hours? Like that's not a lot of hours. Let me tell you, I was broke. Broke because of this. That was like my main beef with In-N-Out, is that despite opening up my availability to like 4 or 5 days, I still didn't get a lot of shifts. They could sometimes schedule me for 4 shifts, 3 shifts, but it was usually between 2 and 3, and there was no guarantee of getting a 6-hour shift. If you stay at a level 1 or 2, then you are not going to get a lot of hours. Like, you need to level up ASAP if you want money, if you want hours. You have to be at least a 3 or 4 level associate to really get hours, and if you want basically like 30 hours or something like that, then you need to be a higher level than level 4. It's not a job that you're guaranteed hours right away. And if you're someone that needs that, you have to be very aware that this is not the job that will just hand it to you straight up. I believe you're only allowed to work up to 30 hours across 5 days. I think In-N-Out actually employs good people for the manager positions. All the managers that I have dealt with at In-N-Out have been very professional. There have been a few that have scared me, intimidated me, but for the most part, I actually really liked them. They were really nice, and I hated every time In-N-Out would switch my favorite managers, because that's something that happens a lot at In-N-Out, is that they constantly rotate the shift managers. Your store manager is the same person. They're not going to really change, but you have multiple shift managers that will change, and it's hard because like you get used to them, you get used to how they run things, and then you have to get used to this whole new other person. But like there's a positive for everything, there's also a negative. In-N-Out has really high standards, and that's why it makes the company such a great place to be a customer at. But sometimes it kind of sucks if you are on the employee side, because this part does get a little bit annoying. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. In-N-Out managers can sometimes be critical, constructive, and they can often micromanage. But this is because their boss is on them about this, so they're going to be on you about this. So it's not a personal thing, it's a company policy thing, which you should abide by if you want to work there. You're not going to change the way In-N-Out is run, just know that. In-N-Out takes complaints and compliments very seriously. You do not want a complaint. You definitely want a compliment. If a complaint is attached to your name, you will get written up for it. And even though you might not be in the wrong, the customer is lying, over exaggerating, that doesn't matter. You're still gonna get it on your profile that you had a complaint. So you want to be very careful with your interactions with customers and with what you say, how your face looks, because it will bite you in the butt. Just be careful. I had a very hard time making friends at In-N-Out. I'm a very outgoing, friendly person. I'm not shy, but at In-N-Out, everyone thought I was shy because I didn't really talk to people because I didn't have time to talk to people. In-N-Out is a very rush environment, and if it's not, they send you home. And so I never had the opportunity to really like talk to a coworker at the cashier or behind the scenes, because like I never wanted my managers to think that I was goofing around or not taking my job seriously. And it was one thing that really impacted me about working there, is that I didn't have friends, and like I would go to work every day sad because I was stressed out about the job. I felt like I wasn't good enough, and then I didn't have anyone to really talk to. And a lot of the associates, the higher levels, didn't start talking to me until like probably a year into the job, and they're all really nice. I haven't met anyone that's mean at In-N-Out. It's just that like it was hard for me to really get to know people because of the job, the nature of the job. There's really no downtime to talk to people unless you're a higher level and you're on board making, like, wrapping the burgers and stuff. So I left In-N-Out because I actually moved cities and I was not going to commute, but I didn't transfer to another In-N-Out because I had a job offer that had guaranteed full-time work, which I need because I'm supporting myself, and it was better pay per hour. So that's ultimately why I didn't transfer out. Would I ever go back to In-N-Out if I needed it as a job? Probably not. And it's not because I hate In-N-Out. I still eat there, literally addicted to the food because I work there. But I quickly realized once when I started working there that I was unhappy. And I felt really bad about that because everyone I knew loved working at In-N-Out. They were always happy. They would talk about how good of a job it was. And I felt like I was a bad employee. I felt like I was a bad person because I didn't share that same experience. And I thought something was wrong with me. I can't quit this job 2 months in because that's going to look bad in my resume. People are going to ask me, oh, like, why'd you quit In-N-Out? Like I said, a lot of this is like personal stuff. I struggle with multitasking, and the job did require a lot of multitasking mentally and physically, under a lot of pressure, under a lot of high standards, and I always felt like I constantly failed as an employee because like simple things were hard for me to remember when I was busy trying to remember like to do the lot check, to help this customer, to get this person coffee, to replace the lemonade after that, to doing this and that like simple things like remembering how many coffee packets to put in the coffee machine were really hard for me to remember. I just felt very inadequate as an employee, and I hated feeling that way, to be honest. And In-N-Out was one of those places where I felt like no matter how hard I work, I don't think I'll ever be like good or like good enough or the best, or you know, I never thought I could be that all-star In-N-Out employee. And you know, I always like was really scared of making a mistake there because I didn't want to get called out for it. I didn't want to get micromanaged, and a lot of that stems from my childhood of like things that have happened. I have issues. I really need therapy. But ultimately, I left In-N-Out because I could not see myself leveling up. Because I was already stressed out, as I was, as a level 3 associate, I would look at the job responsibilities and how stressed out people were at level 4, level 5, level 6, and I knew I was not capable of doing that at the In-N-Out standard. I knew I could probably do it, but I'd be under a lot of stress because with leveling up comes more stress, more responsibilities, higher standards, and I just knew that I didn't think I was going to be capable enough of doing that at the In-N-Out standard. And so I was kind of stuck in a place where I was getting no hours pretty much because I was lower level, but then I didn't want to level up because I didn't think I was going to be good enough and I didn't think I could meet the standard. And so I was like, well, I shouldn't stay somewhere because I shouldn't stay at a workplace if I can't see myself progressing, if I can't see myself growing. And so I knew that I had to leave. I just didn't know when. I think ultimately I was just really afraid of leveling up because I didn't want management being very frustrated with me at like not performing well. And that comes from my childhood too, of like, I don't like disappointing people. I really don't. I don't like disappointing myself, and so like I just can't be in an environment like that. Yes and no. If you're someone like me who traditionally doesn't work well under pressure or stress, then I would definitely not recommend you do this job because it's gonna be really hard for you mentally and emotionally. Not that you can't do it. If you want to challenge yourself, go ahead, but you know, wherever you work, you want to have a good environment that you feel happy to go to every day. And despite In-N-Out being a great company, if it's not a perfect fit for you, then that's not anything bad, but you just want to recognize that before you invest a lot of your time into it. If you are someone that works well under pressure, under stress, you can multitask, then this job is perfect for you. I definitely recommend going in and applying because you will work very well in the In-N-Out environment. You will, and you'll have a lot of fun with the management, the coworkers, and a lot of the opportunities that In-N-Out presents to its employees. So I will just really want to stress that In-N-Out is not meant for everyone. If you truly are a bad person or a bad employee, you will not last. But just because In-N-Out is not meant for everyone to work there, that doesn't mean it's a bad company. It just means that it's a job and there's a specific requirement. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you want to check out more videos, I will have them linked down below. If you want to watch my Knott's Berry Farm work experience here in the video, go ahead and watch that. I love you guys. Bye!